Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Jets Radio. This is one of your hosts, Tyson Roush, and I don't know what we're going to talk about tonight because the Jets are the worst team in football. The coach is a clown. He's still the coach of the team. Ownership is lost. Joe Douglas is hiding. It's a bona fide mess. At Talk Jets Radio on Instagram and Twitter. Let's Talk Jets Radio on YouTube. Mr. Primetime, how are you, man?
I've been better, man. Still trying to recover from the last 2 nights of drinking and talking about this mess, but ready to get into the show, ready to hear what the fans have to say, and I have a feeling it's probably going to be a lot like what we've been saying the last 2 nights.
Yeah, the first thing we want to do is we want to thank everybody for joining us the last 2 nights, especially on our YouTube channel. We've been doing live streams. The support has been completely overwhelming, and we cannot be more appreciative and more thankful. We're having a blast. I mean, Primetime broke out his Jets bingo, which will be clearly a topic of conversation for this Sunday, because now we've decided we're going to live stream every game because this season is so lost. We might as well drink through it and crack jokes through it. So we want to thank everybody for that. Friday night, 8 o'clock. Sunday, we'll go probably like 10 minutes before, like whatever time the game is, 10 minutes before that. And we do the post game right after that, depending on our mood. So we have that as well. We're keeping busy, Primetime.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like you said, the support, it's been just beyond overwhelming at this point. I mean, the DMs, emails, comments, all of it. It's nice to know that, in what's been an absolute disaster of a season, that at the very least we've been able to connect with a lot of fans who are equally outraged and just kind of see things the way that we do. And it's also nice to just have that voice and that platform to be able to say our opinions and, just see our audience growing the way it is. It's really awesome.
Yeah, so obviously if you listen to us for the last 2 days, I am completely baffled that after the 6th loss where you get shut out versus the Miami Dolphins, where you didn't compete for the most part, taking moral victories for competing in the second half is laughable. The fact that Adam Gase is still the coach is mind-numbing. It's ridiculous, irresponsible. Like I said, the fact that Joe Douglas is hiding after having his face all over the screen with his head buried in his hands, the fact that ownership is hiding. This team's a clown show. There's no way to beat around the bush. They don't know what they don't know what they're doing. They have no blueprint. They have no plan. They have no leadership. They have no direction. There's no sense of accountability anywhere. And they're keeping the fans as suckers. They think, you know what? Let's just hide from it. They'll keep tolerating it, and on to Buffalo. Like they're gonna keep saying, we're gonna keep playing like shit over and over and over. They're gonna complain. They'll calm down. We'll keep losing. Everything is fine.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Adam Gase at this point still being employed, I could see that it was going to happen. But, yeah, it brings up a lot of questions at this point. Obviously, it should have happened after that Thursday night game like we keep talking about. And once it didn't happen then, to expect it midseason, we all know it should happen, but I just don't think it's going to happen. So it brings up a lot of questions about the future of this team, the future of Gase, whether or not, he really is going to be fired at the end of the year. And we also don't know, how Joe Douglas views this. Adam Gase brought him in. We know that, the two of them were at least planning on kind of working this thing out together. And there's been nothing to this point that would indicate Joe Douglas is off the Adam Gase bandwagon. He was all about Adam Gase this offseason. He was all about this team this offseason. We rehashed all the quotes over the last 2 nights. We don't need to get into that again. But, yeah, the fact that he's hiding at this point, that he refuses to address the media and answer some questions and answer some of the quotes that he promised the fans, as far as what we see this season, at some point you got to address this. You can't take a job as GM in this city and think that you could just hide when things get to the point that they're at right now, where you are legitimately the laughingstock of the NFL.
And that's the whole thing. Like, it seems like they're okay with it. Like, silence is golden right now. Like, all these mistakes, all these problems, all this lack of accountability. Like, trading Steve McClendon doesn't send a message to anybody when you send him to a contending team. That's not no statement. You did the guy a favor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is like the way they're approaching themselves. They act like they're like, oh, we made a statement. No, you didn't. The locker room is probably surprised, but the locker room probably expects all the fire sale to happen. Like, you know what I mean? There's no like big statement here, no like splash move, and they're all hiding. It just shows you how like they lacked any kind of leadership, man.
No, I completely agree. That trading McClendon is not a statement at all. That was a veteran leader that, at least it came out that they talked to him beforehand, and you probably get a sense of how the conversation went. He's nearing the end of his career. He probably wanted an opportunity to play for a winner before he retires, and they gave him that chance. It's not sending a message to anybody. Sending a message would be releasing Pierre Desir, who's been trash. Releasing any number of guys, veterans.
Bradley McDougald.
Yeah, release McDougald. And there's a number of guys that we could talk about. Ryan Griffin, even though you just signed him to a 3-year contract. Like there's a number of guys this year that have all underperformed. So that would be sending a message. Steve McClendon, I mean, that's not anything.
So what we're going to do is we're probably expecting a lot of phone calls tonight. So we're going to bring on Mr. Tyrone, who is out, I believe it's in Denver. What's up, man?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on, fellas, man? You know, I'm truly dedicated, man. It's my grandson's first birthday, so I'm out in Denver, man, from a remote location. And I had to, jump on for a little bit to holler at my boys, man. I love y'all content, man. Y'all are going crazy. Live streams during the game. I want to say this, and I want to touch on one thing. We fucking suck. It's just horrible. This whole organization has let the fans down. They have given us nothing but great, content to be able to do this. We could do a show every day, every hour about this raggedy-ass team. And the most important thing I want to say is that it's funny that Joe Douglas is so quiet right now. You're not making did you see the thing where he had his hands over his face,
yep.
Like, bruh? And you don't make a statement. You don't fire Adam Gase. This is the problem. Then you get rid of Steve McClendon for what? He's a leader in the locker room. I know we don't, because we don't have leadership. Therefore, you want to get rid of the 1 or 2 leaders that we do have. I understand that. That makes good sense, I guess, if you're a fucking idiot. But it just goes to show, man, that what this team has become and what this organization has become. And I was talking to a Miami fan actually on the flight over here, and he was like, I had my jet mask on. And he was like, yo, bro, like, y'all suck. I was like, yeah. He said, but that guy Gase, man, he sucks. I said, he's the problem, and he ruined the Miami organization. They're turning around. Now you have a situation to where we have a coach that's destroying the team. He's not only destroying the team, he's destroying our future. And everyone's talking about
but Tyrone, here's the problem. Listen, we can sit here and bash Gase endlessly and rightfully so, but here's the problem with that. The team is condoning it. They're letting him stay in the building. So that's on ownership, and that's on Joe Douglas. Like, dude, we can talk about everything that went wrong with Adam Gase was predicted. We called it. He should have been fired 3 weeks ago, last week, this week, all this time. We know all the deficiencies, all the problems, everything that's going wrong. Why is he still in the building? Who is allowing it? Who is condoning it? Who's doing it? Ownership and general manager. It's all
absolutely.
They're part of the problem too, man. Joe Douglas is part of the problem.
No, they exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. When you have a situation to where you don't stand up for your players and you don't stand up for your fans, and I know we're just fans. This is a fan show, so we love this team so much that we'll come out here and we do stuff like this. But to say that you don't make a statement, you don't say anything, you don't do anything, you just allow this shit show to continue. We have no way of improving ourselves or getting better. And everyone, I'm so tired of, blaming Sam Darnold for this. And I'm not saying he's innocent in all this, in all. But, if you put Trevor Lawrence out there right now, with the team that we have right now, he's going to fucking suck. I'm sorry. You in college football, you get the best players on your team, and you're getting 45 seconds to throw the fucking football. Of course, you're gonna find a wide open guy. There's nobody that can fix this, man. In the organization right now, there's nobody can fix what's going on with Sam. You can't fix Sam when you have this kind of incompetence, this kind of totality of awful play. It's not just the defense. It is the offense. It's horrible, man. How is this guy an offensive genius, man? When we're sitting here, bro, with no points on the board. You got Joe Flacco discombobulated out there, bro. It does not matter who you put in there. This shit is not working. And for an organization not to make any changes, not to make any adjustments,
they don't
not
care.
to do anything, not even exactly. But did you want me to buy your raggedy ass shirts and your hats and stuff and go out here and support this, man? This is crazy. It is getting to the point, man, where I'm just sick of watching it, man. Like, it's hard to watch. I never root against the Jets, man. I never do. But I'm being honest with you. You seen our schedule? There's not a fucking game we can win. There's not one game we can win on that schedule right now with Adam Gase in charge. It's not, and it's no life to this offense. It's no life to the players. The offensive line is regressing. Everyone has said, well, Sam is regressing. I mean, you would regress too if you have a head coach who cannot scheme guys open, who cannot get offensive line to be productive on a weekly basis, or you have a general manager who would not put good talented receivers around you or having good players around you to make you get better. That's how you get better. Then you trade Le'Veon Bell like that was a smart move. Okay.
You released him.
You know what I'm saying? You release Le'Veon Bell, which is even fucking dumber. Then on top of that, you're giving Frank Gore more runs than you're giving P-Ron, which makes no damn sense. You have all these young players that we drafted, and to me, the only players that's really stepping up is the one that was undrafted. You know what I'm saying? These are the guys that are producing, man, and it's just bad, man, and it's to the point where
Tyron, if we instead of looking at the big picture, just look at Sunday's game and just specifically. Because the whole future, all shit's a waste of time at this point. Just the way Adam Gase handled Pirine. Oh, he dropped the pass. His body language is bad. That was it. Like, dude, the excuses he's coming up with, like, listen, they can lose every game. But if I'm losing, I want to lose young. Empty the fucking bench. Let all the young kids play. And like Primetime said, if you want to make a statement, start cutting veterans that aren't earning their paychecks. There's about 10 of them on this team. Henry Anderson, Pierre Desir, all these guys, and then you let the Nathan Shepherds play, you let the Lamar Jacksons play, you let Pirine play, let all the young kids play and get experience so we could truly understand what we have here. Because the problem is that all these rookies that are hurt, they're all starting to get healthy now. Let them all play. Cameron Clark, all of them. Zuniga, everybody should play now. And the problem is Adam Gase won't do that because he's so goddamn arrogant and he thinks he's still coaching for his job, which he's not. That's the problem right now.
Absolutely. Well, Tyson, and this should be the thing. Listen, our season is done right now, week 6. We have a chance to turn this thing around because we don't have the right leadership, in charge to make that happen. So I'm definitely with, letting the young guys play. But to me, I don't understand why they don't cut their fucking losses because what you're doing to Sam is not right. It's not, Joe, and I know Adam Gase is such a prick, man. He thought Joe Flacco was going to come in and be with. Nobody can run your pissy-ass system when the defense already know what the fuck you're doing. They already know. Listen, there's no mystery to what Gase does. Short passes, bro. Or then you want to attack the field. Okay, you want to good passes down the field. Shit didn't work. The running game, inept. Receiving game, inept. Name one receiver that you're scared of. Other than Crowder.
But not even that. But the thing is, do you think Adam Gase would even bench Joe Flacco? Joe Flacco was terrible, dude. And I understand, listen, he's coming back from injury. He's rusty. New offense, new coach, new playmakers, all this stuff. But, dude, they've been holding on to Mike White like he's some kind of prospect. And you know what? I'd rather see Mike White play. And I'd rather see Morgan play. I'd like to watch Joe Flacco give up on plays and throw the ball up in the air. The way Adam Gase puts on plays, Joe Flacco does the same thing. He's like, dude, get me out of Dodge. I don't want to be here either. He had that body language too. If Gase evaluates body language, look at Joe Flacco's.
That 30-yard sack he took, bro, kind of just know what I threw my phone across the room on that play right there.
Try broadcasting live, man. Try broadcasting a live stream and seeing that.
Hey. Tyson, I know you in prime time, boy. I know you boys with y'all probably about 10 to 15 nice cold ones in that shit, bro. You were feeling numb. You were feeling no pain because
I threw my headset.
This the bad part, right? We don't even get mad over this shit anymore because we're so used to what's going on and we're so used to how bad this is. And this is what's scary as an organization when you have and everyone knows this, man. We're one of the best fan bases in football. We really are. We stand by our team. Uh-huh. So when you have a team when you have fans like ours starting to question about going to games or buying merchandise or wanting to support, that's when you have a real problem. But it starts with ownership being in the way. You have a general manager that we actually thought was going to come in from good pedigree and come in and change things, and he's with the same fucking program. He hasn't improved anything. And so he's definitely accountable now as well. Then you have a head coach, man, that he should have never been hired. That was a joke in Miami, who destroyed Miami, and now they have a good coach and they're turning it around. But we don't have a good coach. We don't have what I'm saying? And then this is the funny part. I don't know if you guys talked about this or hit on this. What the comment Greg Williams said. He knew what the fuck he was saying. He was speaking the truth. Look,
yep.
You know what I'm saying? The offense is the fucking problem. Like your defense is on the field.
Dude,
man,
they gave up 21 points before they put their cleats on this weekend. I mean, let's not give them any credit. Because the funny thing is the best comment is, well, after the third touchdown they played hard. Oh, only after 21 points? Only after that? Oh, only 21 points? That's when you decide to play hard? As you sleepwalk for? I mean, come on. It's just
same story as last year.
It's just ridiculous.
No, I was just saying that was the exact same story as last year. where we had an offense that, was bottom of the league. They couldn't put up points. So once the opposing team got their points and had a comfortable lead, they kind of took the foot off the gas. And, we praised Greg Williams for making adjustments, when in reality, I think it was the other team realizing they had enough points, they had the win in the bank already, and didn't really need to do much more or risk anything.
Well, I think what happened is they figured out our offense. They figured out our defense. I mean, you can watch. When these guys are playing 15 yards of every fucking receiver, I'm going to listen. They said this is the spread for the Kansas City game. I think is at 28 right now. I'm taking 28 points in the first half, bro. That's the number I'm taking. Over.
I thought it was 21.
You know what I'm saying?
But even that, I'm still taking. I would take that in the first half.
Exactly. Yo, in a heartbeat, because you already know what's going to happen. And, we're going to get embarrassed, and Le'Veon's going to come in, and they're going to have a nice little package for Le'Veon. He's going to piss all over us, and I hope he fucking does, because he deserves it. To the way that Gase treats players and disrespects players like he's a great coach is damn near laughable to me. I don't understand how this guy is even considered to still be a coach. I thought he'd be fired after 3 games ago, but now to be 0-5, 0-6, whatever the fuck we are, and then lose to Miami like that in that fashion, and you're out there trying to take timeouts and kick field goals and figure out a way to put points on the board at the end of the game when you couldn't do it all single game. Yo, listen, Braden Mann should make the Pro Bowl, bro, for punting. This kid is punting like 328,000 times this season, bro.
Tackling is even better.
How is the best player on your team your punter, bro? How is that possible, man? That's absolutely nuts, man. It's crazy.
What a joke.
Yeah, it's ugly, bro. It's ugly. It's real ugly.
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah.
Turn the mic in.
Hello,
Yo.
can you hear me?
Oh.
Yeah, you sound good. Yeah, you sound good.
Oh, I guess we're going to the phone. What's up?
Yo.
This is Mike in Jersey City. Where'd Tyson go?
Yeah.
Tyson went MIA. What's up,
What's
Mike?
up, Mike?
Yeah,
Okay,
what's up,
Mike?
guys?
Hey, man, how you feeling, man? Talk to us.
So obviously I think we're all just completely bewildered as to why Gase is still here. So I did some deep diving, and I really wanted to find answers. I was just so shocked, like you guys were saying, how basically everyone went into hiding and what the fuck's going on. So I listened on Monday to Connor Hughes' podcast because I'm thinking if anybody, one of those guys, Rich, one of those guys is going to know something at least. So what he was saying was that he was sending out texts, he was receiving texts, and he's no one could give him a definitive answer. They were kind of beating around the bush. Was he going to get fired after the game or Monday or even today? But he did mention that there are people that are they're pushing for it. It's kind of split 50-50. But his final synopsis, his conclusion to what he had to say was that he thinks that if they get blown out again by the Bills, he doesn't understand how they cannot. And
We've
I'm
been
sitting
saying it
there to
every
myself,
week, though.
what
We're saying
what
it
the
every
fuck
week, man.
else do you fucking need? What do you need for this man to shoot Darnold in between the eyes with a Desert Eagle on the sideline? What else do you possibly need?
Dude, this is ridiculous. So you know what it is? I'm tired of people making excuses for the Jets. Well, if only this happens, This is rock bottom. You're the worst team in football. You're a laughing stock. You're an embarrassment. Jet fans don't want to be associated with you. Why do you need more? What else do you need to see? Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. Left tackle's hurt.
Right.
Quarterback's hurt. You just got shut out in a passing league where every team's scoring 25 points a game.
Exactly. And so it's and then you go on Twitter and you're seeing fans oh, well, you know what? This is going to secure the 0-16. I'm dude, we don't have even if Gase is fired and Bob Cooter comes in or whoever the fuck comes in, just based off on our quality of players, the tank will still be on. Keeping Gase doesn't accomplish anything. It just accomplishes to embarrass us more, to put us more into a grave.
Here's the difference. There's a significant difference here. Once you let Greg Williams coach or Jim Bob Cooter coach, you tell them, listen, we're going to make you interim head coach you're playing all the young guys. Like, you're going to bench all the guys that are underperforming. You're going to bench guys we know aren't going to be here. All the young kids must play. We don't give a shit about wins and losses. We care about evaluating our talent. That's the mandate you give them as a responsible organization. You don't keep trotting out the same bullshit.
But I'm just saying that the fans are starting to like be okay with that, and I'm just like, I don't agree with that. Like, why do we need to keep Case in order to like say, okay, the tank is on? If anything, what you guys are saying before, and I said it even before he was hired, when he was going to be potentially hired, it's that keeping Gase and what we've seen now, it does absolutely nothing for anyone. It is demoralizing, okay? And you're just telling the fans that, hey, yeah, this guy truly has a shot to come back next year. And if that's going to be the case, then I mean that's unfathomable in every aspect possible. There isn't a GM or owner in any sport around the fucking globe that wouldn't have fired his ass after Thursday, if not yesterday. So I guess I really want to ask you guys, like, do you guys know anything? Because it's just like, well, what the fuck is that, Connor? Like, dude, you can't get definitive answers?
Listen, bro. I think the only reason they're keeping him around is because they don't want to seem like they're tanking. The problem is we're not tanking.
You don't want to seem like they're tanking. Like,
yo,
you
listen,
don't want to seem like you're tanking.
Hold on, bro. Listen. Hold on 1 second, man. They don't want to seem like they're tanking, but the problem is they're tanking because their coach gets out-coached. We're not losing because they want to lose. They're losing because their coach fucking sucks. That's our problem.
No, but Tyron, hold on. Dude, you can't even say they don't want to seem like they're tanking. They're getting blown out every week. Like that doesn't make any sense. They're getting blown out week in and week out. They're not even competitive.
We're getting out coached every week, bro. We're getting out coached every week. That's the problem.
Bro, but it's well beyond that. Samini reported that we are going to break the historic run differential by the end of the season. We are going to break that record for the worst run differential in the history of the entire fucking league.
Hey, you didn't figure that shit out, though. You didn't figure that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you can't, bro. Like, keeping Gase, there serves zero purpose. All it does is it creates anxiety among everyone.
He should have been. Listen, he should have been fired. And to me, that's the only thing I think ownership is trying to do is save face. But how can you save face when your fan base is fucking dying behind having this whack ass dude as our coach? I truly understand where you're coming from.
How are they? Wait, I don't understand any of these points right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Ownership isn't doing anything. They just don't care. They just don't care. They're letting them lose. They're getting embarrassed. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They're not trying to save anything. They're getting blown out.
Hold on.
Every analyst in the world is calling them out.
Hold on.
Every week we're getting blown out.
How are they saving face?
Hold on.
And that's the thing, too. Like, Steve McClendon gone, and now we're hearing Darnold to the Cowboys. Like, if that happens, then that tells me everything as a Jets fan, that the notion and the entire game plan, as soon as he came in, that Gase's hidden agenda was to completely scrap this team and franchise so he can build his own franchise. And if there's anyone in the entire universe that doesn't deserve ever to get his way to rebuild his own team, it's this fucking man. People that get to do that are Bill Belichick's, Vince Lombardi's, Don Shula's. Okay, this guy's a nobody. And they're just like, what was the deal when they hired him? 51% ownership? Like, we see the facial expression from Douglas, and just nothing. He's hiding. This is just telling me that Gase is in charge of you, and you have to ask for permission from Chris to get him fired. Okay, just nothing is on the fucking table. It's completely non-transparent with anyone right now. Nobody knows what's going on.
But you know what sucks so bad, though? And this is what I really hope, man. I really hope they get rid of this guy, because there is no fucking way you can tell me there's any reason to bring this guy back. The point you just made, bro, listen, how can you let Adam Gase build anything? What the fuck has he won? Because he won. Why? What has he won? He hasn't won shit in NFL.
He won a fucking endorsement phone call from fucking Peyton Manning on the last fucking minute.
All right, we got to go. Mike, thanks for calling, man. We got to go wait.
You too.
A lot of people
on
hold,
right,
man.
Take it easy, guys.
Thanks for calling, man.
Have a good one, bro.
Yeah, we're going to try to not talk too much about next year. Talk about this game and what's going on now because we just got so many people on hold. So we're going to go to Mr. Dan in Howard Beach. What's up, man?
What's going on, Dan?
I'm doing better. It took me a good 48 hours to recover. I'm good. I was just looking out for your health, Tyson, because if you would have ran the ball one more time, I think I would have had to call the ambulance for you.
I pounded so many drinks, man. My God,
I saw. I was trying to keep up, man. But I was just chugging and laughing. Like I had beer all over the freaking floor on the cave, just dying of laughter. It was hysterical, man.
Well, thanks for joining us, man. That's the only thing we could do, man, is make jokes at this point. What else can you do with this team?
I agree. And you know what? I just came to the conclusion because I've never seen this. Ever. Dude, we are all avid sports fans, not just Jets fans, sports fans. We just like to see the competitive side of just two teams battling out, two dudes battling out. I have never seen a tank. Never in my life. Ever. Even when they're saying, oh, this team is tanking, like the 95, 96 Jets. Oh, they're definitely doing this on purpose. No, there was like a minute type of fight there. Even with like a Crabette or even like a Charles Wilson wide receiver just trying to make like an acrobatic catch here and there. You had that. This is deliberate. Like I came to peace with it because, again, there's no way that you don't fire Gase after the Broncos game. No way. It just doesn't make any sense. And to put the nail in the coffin this past Sunday, there's no way that you lose in a shutout in Miami just like that, and you see the GM grabbing his face, and obviously that's going to be the moniker of the whole entire night tonight with Joe Douglas doing that. Dude, this is so deliberate. You put Flacco out there because of those passes. Like the first play of the game, that bomb that he threw to Perriman, that's an easy pitch and catch type of thing. But it seems like the dude deliberately like underthrew it, this and that, the whole entire game. We were in field goal range. He runs back 27 yards, and you're looking at it, and you're thinking, hold on a second. Is this just a blip in the moment of just a lifetime to say, all right, you know what? We had shitty like seasons before. What's this going to do? All right, I'm going to try to look at the positive spin. Let's say if we continue this tank, we finally get a quarterback. Like, I love Darnold. I love him. But if we're going to compare Lawrence and Darnold, you got to go get Lawrence. You got to give Douglas the head coach that he wants and the quarterback that he wants. That's where Christopher Johnson fucked this whole entire thing up. Like, the whole purpose of signing Gase was to develop Darnold, not to regress him and look for another quarterback after his third year. Like, that's where this whole thing went south. And then at the beginning of the season, it's like they had this weird out of left field plan to deliberately tank. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're not going to remove Gase because Gase is the perfect head coach to land Lawrence, because there's like 6 or 7 other teams that they're not deliberately tanking. They actually really suck. So are we. But, again, we're saying, let's put the young players in. Let's put the young players in. I want to see the young players. But, again, you put young blood there, they want to showcase their worth. And the worst part about putting a young team there is that it might F up the organization's outlook, and they say they might squeak out a win. I don't see Darnold coming back this year, guys. I'm sorry. I don't see it. He's trade bait. That's all he is at the end of the season.
Wait, you mean at the trade deadline or at the end of the year?
No, they're not going to trade him at the deadline. That would be like the absolute dumbest move that you could ever do. Yeah. You cannot do that, because if Lawrence stays in school, again, expect another 0-16 season to land that son of a bitch. You know what I mean? Yep. So we'll be like, what, 0-32 to land.
I got a question. I got a question, though, Dan. So, like, okay, so say, this is my whole input on this right here, man. I feel like, what I'm saying, I ain't ready to give up on Darnold. I don't care. I just don't think the kid is that bad. I mean, but I understand Trevor Lawrence, the enamel with Trevor Lawrence. But what if we go through this whole process and we don't end up with Trevor Lawrence? Then what? What are we stuck with? What are we going to have? What are we going to do? This is the whole problem with that kind of mindset, man. And even having Trevor Lawrence, let me ask you a question. If Trevor Lawrence was our quarterback right now, would he be successful?
Well, that's the big issue right here. The same thing like with the Arizona Cardinals. They drafted a top 10 quarterback. Then they landed the first overall pick. Look how good they're doing right now. But they chose the right head coach. They weren't dumb, and they didn't even give Gase a shot. Like the Jets were so inept in that point to say, all right, you know what, we'll think twice about Kingsbury had to come to us first to interview with us. Arizona was more proactive, and they swayed him right away. That's the beauty of having that number 1 overall draft pick. You will entice head coaches.
Yep. But Dan, what they did was they had a way better coach than we have. They have a more creative and more offensive-minded and this type of era coach. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. I think that's the biggest issue with Sam and with this whole offensive.
But we're going to hire
right
that.
now.
You got to forget about Sam, man. Yeah, I'm sorry. I love Sam, dude. I got all the jerseys, even the freaking USC. I love Sam. But I've come to the conclusion that the GM does not want Sam Darnold. That's it. This whole entire ploy is to land the kid from Clemson. And the kid from Clemson is coming out. The guy's declaring he's not going back in. He's not a dummy. He is no dummy. He's coming out. Let's be honest. His stock is extremely high. Why would he want to go back? He did everything already. The guy lost one game in almost 3.5 years. There's no way he's going back. We land him. Okay. Hopefully we land a Sean Payton type of head coach. That's what we need. We need someone established, man. That's what pisses me off. I'm done with college coaches. I'm done with offensive assistants. I need something that we can replicate what we did in '97. Get someone that's established, like Leon Hess got pissed off. That was the only reason he got Parcells, because he started getting embarrassed. Those 2 years, he got embarrassed, and that's what the Johnsons are going through right now. I don't know how they're saving face. I have no idea. I'm sorry, they're a bunch of pussies. Yo, come out to the forefront. Talk to the fans. But that probably doesn't even do anything. I mean, we're going to hear from Joe Douglas after Week 9 anyway. That might be that's when Gase is probably going to be canned anyway, which I don't understand either. But guess this is all business as usual right now. This is like, you know what? Whatever. It's just a blip in time. As long as we land the guy that we want.
If Trevor Lawrence was your son or your nephew, would you let your son go to the Jets?
If they hire the right coach.
Ain't no way, bro.
Exactly. Hold on. Tyson brings up a great point. Hold on a second. Hold on. This is what I don't care. This is the fandom speaking. And I get it, Tyrone. I get it. But again, look at the Cardinals. Would you say the same thing to Kyler Murray before he went into the Arizona Cardinals? If you
Burrow went to
like
the
a family, that Burrow to the Bengals. Jeff Goff was crap before the new coach went in there. He wasn't that good either. I mean, it happens. Hold on a second. Look at Peyton Manning. You guys remember how shitty the Indianapolis Colts were with Jeff George, a litany of freaking quarterbacks, Jack Trudeau, dude, why not? We're Jet fans first and foremost. You understand? It's not like we haven't had success. We did have success. It's just, unfortunately, we're going through this shit freaking of a cesspool year. Something good has to come out of it. Now, if next year we freaking go to the South again and get like a Jim O'Brien or whatever his name is, then that's it. That, you know what? Pack my bags. I'm done. The hell with the Jets anymore. Enough of it. Something good has to come out of this. That's all I'm saying. Something good has to come out of this. You know, but it's not like you said, like if I was Trevor Lawrence, would I ever come to the Jets? Nah, man, that thing don't play no more, man. That don't make any sense. Not anymore. Mm-mm.
Dan, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
All right, fellas. Have a great one. Love you guys.
You too. And just a quick recap for you guys that are just tuning in. Primetime and I are doing live streams now for every game, and it's not your typical live stream. If you're looking for X's and O's, there's nothing to do with X's and O's. We have Jets bingo, we have drinking games, we have jokes and commentary and all that stuff. So let's Talk Jets Radio on YouTube, @Talk Jets Radio, Instagram and Twitter. And our call-in number for this show, 929-477-2651. Hey, you can speak up, Prime Time. I got to always carry the weight around here.
Good job, Tyson.
No, you're right.
You know
I
what?
should step up.
All right, so we're gonna go to where is it? That's Okay, hold on, my screen is frozen. We're gonna go Travis from Long Island. What's up, Travis?
Hey, Tyson, primetime. What the hell is going on, guys?
What's up,
The
man?
mess.
How you doing?
Doing really well. I appreciate you guys having me on and doing what you guys do because it's the only way I get through the season. Let me just say, as a Jet fan, and a diehard Jet fan at that, all the crap that I've taken being a Jet fan my entire 26 years of living, when Adam Gase was hired, I literally said, what the fuck out loud. I was like, this guy just got canned in Miami because he couldn't produce not only a winning record but a competent offense, and he's supposed to be an offensive genius. But again, as a diehard Jet fan and also a glutton for punishment, I said, fuck it. Let me watch this guy's press conference. Let me see what he says. And that's when Adderall Gase was born. This guy shows up with his eyes looking like he was in the Exorcist movie, and I knew we were in trouble. I knew we were done when I saw this guy's eyes getting ready to pop out of his head the whole time. We're literally sacrificing Sam Darnold for the sins of Adam Gase in this guise of Trevor Lawrence is going to save the day. This roster is completely gutted. I don't care who we bring in as a coach, who we draft as a quarterback. There's no pieces. There's nothing there to even build around nor get excited. If you guys weren't doing your radio show, Let's Talk Jets Radio, I would be lost for the entire season. As a fan, I don't know how much more I can take. People ask me if what's my favorite football team. I have to tell them I don't even enjoy watching football because we're so fucking terrible. I'd rather not deal with the shit of telling people I'm a Jets fan and just say I don't even watch football nor enjoy it. I don't see anything to be excited about. I don't see anything that instills confidence. Everyone says Joe Douglas this, Joe Douglas that. What has he done? Look at Philly's roster. Adam Gase co-signed Joe Douglas. I'm supposed to trust in Adderall Gase? Exorcist eyes? Look what he's putting out on the field. But the GM that he said was going to be the guy to help shape the roster to where he was going to put out a winning future? I'm at a loss for words. I don't know how you guys sat through that entire live stream. There's not enough alcohol on this planet for me to watch that game. I
That's
watched
the only way
10
we did
minutes
it.
of the game, and I was sick to my stomach.
It's not easy, man.
I don't know.
It's not
Can
easy.
you guys give me anything? Tyrone, somebody tell me something that as a fan I can be like, you know what? That's something I can hang my hat on. We got one guy that I can say, you know what? This guy's probably got the potential to be a Hall of Famer. But knowing the Jets, we'll jettison him to someplace else, and he'll start wearing a gold jacket for another team, and that's Becton. We got nothing else.
And they got him hurt. They mismanaged him with his injury.
I mean, come on. But that's to be expected.
And the problem is, like, all the areas that you do have hope for, like, if you're trying to grasp at straws here and, like, just find some reasons to be optimistic, okay, it's the salary cap space that you're going to have that you didn't spend this year that, you know, it's going to carry over into next year. You should have the most cap space in all of football, or at least close to it, somewhere around $80, $90 million. And you have the 2 extra first-round picks plus the extra third, from the trade for Jamal Adams over the next 2 years. So if you're looking for any bit of optimism, that's it. The only problem is the guy making the draft picks, we still don't know about. We like to believe that he's the guy. He comes from Baltimore and Philly. He's got the background, but we still don't know yet. He, like you said, he was brought in by Adam Gase. We want to believe he's the guy, but his first draft class, it looks like shit, or at least the guys aren't on the field yet to prove that they can play. So it's really an unknown at this point. So that's all we have. We have an unknown.
It was prime time. Someone had mentioned that there is a Jets tax for guys to come over here and play football. If there's no greater example than that C.J. Mosley abomination of a contract of the Jets tax, I don't know what else to call it. And then even with all that cap space, I mean, again, we're going to have to overpay guys just to come to the shit show. Excuse my vulgarity. I'm not a vulgar guy. But when I start to talk about this team, I can't help but feel like I'm getting kicked in the sack. God forbid I watch them. I'm telling you, I've had to do away with it. I've had to do away with watching them. I literally will just check if Sam's going to play. If Sam's going to play, then I'll watch. But literally, the last time I was excited about this team was when we drafted Darnold, and look what the hell we did to Sam. I can't believe – I thought it was over when we drafted Sam.
Joe Flacco don't got you motivated?
Found the guy.
Joe Flacco don't got you motivated?
Come on, brother. Tyrone. Joe Flacco. Listen, Joe Fluco. Send him back to wherever he came from because this guy's a freaking bum. We got Frank Gore and Joe Flacco. That would have been exciting 10 years ago, not in 2020.
Not in 2020
Travis,
for a rebuilding Jets team.
Thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna keep the calls kind of quick because we got so many people on hold. We're gonna go to, let's see. Oh, this next call is a celebrity. Now people are like making requests for Larry in Harlem. Larry, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing this evening?
We're miserable.
Hanging in there, man.
What's going on, Larry?
So, guys, when I called in last week, I said last week that Joe Douglas should have come out and talked when they traded Bell. And had he done that, like things would have been bad, but it wouldn't have been this bad because he could have faced the music. And now what they did was they put Adam Gase out and let Adam Gase navigate that mess. What happens? The game comes up against Miami, and they look lifeless. They look like nothing could go right for Adam Gase. His play calling, everybody knows it's the same thing every week, right? So do I think the team is tanking? No, I don't think the team is tanking because I think at the end of the day, these guys know that they're professional football players and they have to fight for something, and your fortunes can change in the NFL. You could be on a shit team like the Jets this year, and next year you're winning a ring with Pittsburgh or Kansas City or the Patriots. So I think these guys know that they have to play hard. So I don't think that they're tanking, but I think the coaching is just abysmal on the offensive side. Like, guys, the coaching hasn't changed since the New England game last year. Once Belichick showed everybody that he knows Adam Gase's offense, and you play man-to-man against those receivers and chuck them at the line, they don't win their one-on-one matchups, Sam is toast. Sam is toast. So what you're seeing now with the offense without Sam, all the fans that said, oh, Sam sucks, Sam is falling off, all the fans that weren't on the Sam Darnold bandwagon, now what you're seeing, right, what you're seeing is the result of not having Sam behind center. And the teams are doing the exact same thing. And the fact that Adam Gase can't coach against it is a sheer indictment on Adam Gase. So he has control of this organization right now because he's such a con artist and such a snake oil salesman that the owner, for some reason, every game he has an excuse. Now, when you watch Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh, the first thing Mike Tomlin says, no excuses, no explanations. Do your job. No excuses, no explanations. After every game, when he doesn't say, I don't know, I need to go back and look at it, he's talking about, oh, they made us one-dimensional, they did this. The guy is a snake oil salesman, and he says the right things. For some reason, he has control. But I don't think the team is tanking because I think they're professional football players. But the other point I wanted to make real quick is that I think it's wrong for fans to say tank for Trevor, and here's why. The Jets don't have anything. They have a ton of players on one-year contract, and here's what I think happened. Christopher Johnson comes in, there's COVID, there's no money coming in, fans are not at the stadium, they're not spending, they're not buying gear, right? So they say, okay, well, let's see how many games we can win this year, but don't spend money, save money for Sam, because we have to re-sign Sam. We have to give him an extension soon. We don't want to lose Sam, so don't spend money. So what happens? You get a lot of guys on these one-year contracts. Half of your outside of Becton and maybe McGregor, the rest of the line is on a one-year deal. All those players that you have are playing on one-year deal. Perryman won't be here. So what do I think the Jets should do? First of all, I don't see them getting rid of Adam Gase until maybe the end of the year because for some reason he has this owner's ear. Like he has an excuse and he sounds good. That must have been a hell of an interview because I've never seen somebody fail so much and get the job and get this much power, right? So for some reason, he has the ear of the head coach. So here's what I think the Jets should do. Re-sign Sam. If you get the first pick, trade back for a king's ransom and rebuild this team around rookie contracts that are going to be on the team for the next 3 to 4 years. That plus the Jets, when everyone leaves, the Jets are going to have the most money in the NFL. So to say tank for Trevor, who is Trevor Lawrence going to throw the ball to if you pick him? Who is he going to throw? He's one hit away, and he's not as elusive as Sam. So, and Sam is a good player. He's very athletic. Sam tries to make something out of nothing.
Trevor Lawrence can run around. What are we talking about here? Trevor Lawrence runs around.
I understand that, but guys, I'm just telling you, my fear with Trevor is his build that he gets hit and he gets creamed. Now, I'm not saying anything negative about Trevor.
Meanwhile, Sam Darnold's been getting hurt every year. What the hell's the difference?
There is the same thing. This is
He
what
didn't
I'm
get
saying,
hurt last year. He had mono.
Right. Sam had mono last year. He didn't get hurt. The first year, he got a little dinged up. But the point is, trade back and build your team. The other caller called in and said, what's his name, Peyton Manning in Indy. When Peyton Manning, look what he did for Indy. Peyton Manning had Marvin Harrison and Edgerrin James that they had there. The guy had something. There we have no one that can win a 50-50 ball. We have no one that on the timing route can take one to the house on a slant. We don't have that. Who's going to do that? And that's why I think the Jets need to be what we haven't been right now, but smart. But Joe Douglas has to come out before the bye. Like they're saying, oh, Joe Douglas is going to come out during the bye. He's going to talk. That's the normal time. It's way too hot. And if anything, Adam Gase is showing that he is in control of this franchise. So I'm not here to call up and say Adam Gase should be fired. We all know that. Why isn't he fired? He's not fired because clearly he has the guy's ear. He told the press on Monday, yeah, I talked to him. It's the normal talk. It's a normal talk. Joe Douglas is sitting up there putting his hands on his face, but no one is calling Adam Gase the question. No one is going to him saying, give up play calling duties. The guy said it's a 10-step process, and I'm on step 2. What does that tell you? When the other offensive, I don't know what Loggins does besides throw flags, but when he sits up there and says, oh, we all agreed, it's like, come on, dude. The fans are seeing, we are all seeing the same shit week after week after week. So how do you change it? To me, it has to be the same level of public embarrassment. The only people I think right now that have power to change this are the ex-Jets. The ex-Jets need to say something. The Ring of Honor members. Those people.
They are saying something. They're all saying it.
But then, for some reason, they're not, who's speaking up? Keyshawn spoke up.
Everybody. Dude, Victor Green. Dude, all the Victor Green, Damian Woody, they're chiming in every aspect. Like, it shouldn't require former players to do it. Ownership and Joe Douglas, a valued, member of the NFL society, should say, listen, this is going backwards. Like, we can't tolerate this. We shouldn't have to have protests and banners and, unfollow on social media and don't buy jerseys. Like, we shouldn't have to take these measures, man. Like, at some point, you cut your losses and say, you know what? This is what we do. Dude, Larry, let's be honest. If you owned a business, if you're CEO of your business and this is what's happening, you'd be like, you know what? You're affecting my bottom line now. You're going to go today, if not yesterday. That's how you handle business.
But if your CEO is telling you something, and we've seen this, if your CEO is saying, you know what, once we do this, we're going to turn the corner, the stocks are going to go up, just give me time. Once these guys get back from injury, everything is going to be good because I believe in my system. For some reason,
nobody believes that.
Somebody among Jeff does.
Well, Larry, one thing I got to say thank you for, man, is you actually made a point I've been trying to make, man. You can't give up on Sam Darnold. You can't give up on that.
Hold on. The whole Sam Darnold thing. Let's talk about the problem at hand, which is the coach, because that's like a draft.
No, but the problem at hand, what we're dealing with now ties into Sam Darnold, though. It's connected to Darnold, because if ownership doesn't get rid of Adam Gase and let somebody else call plays, how can you fairly evaluate this kid? You cannot fairly evaluate him under this system. Adam Gase's system has been exposed by every defensive coordinator in the NFL right now. They are doing the exact same thing. And what happens is, with this bullshit offensive line that we have, when Becton is in, they're playing somewhat decent. This kid is running for his life, and he's making magical plays happen damn near once a series. He is running for his life once a series. Why? Why does he hold the ball? Because the receivers cannot beat the press coverage. And the guys are doing the same thing. And the only way to change it is to go to Adam Gase and say, give up the play calling. I don't know why the leadership at the Jets didn't call to the owner, Stephen Ross, in Miami and say, why did you have the beef with Adam Gase? Like, what's the reference? What happened there? And what happened was questions over his offense. So how can you give up on Sam? Guys, if you trade back from that number 1 pick, you can wind up with 3 first-round draft picks this year and another 3 next year. You can build your entire team. in 2 years, with the money that the Jets will have in the pot, you can lock up players. Imagine if you have first-round wide receiver talent, first-round edge rusher, and a first-round cornerback in 1 year. Then you get a haul. Maybe you get multiple twos. And the next year you have another first-round haul. You have 2 or 3 first-round picks. The one thing I'll give Joe Douglas is he hit on Becton. It was unfortunate that the kid got hurt, but he hit on Becton.
So,
Everything else?
all right, well, it's like to give him credit for Becton. Giving him credit for Becton is one thing, but if you look at all his free agent moves and everything else he's done, it's been not very. His results haven't been good at all.
I get it, but that's where you have to bring in another coach, some other eyes, and work with these guys on reevaluation. Adam Gase, you cannot trust the thing he said, but you cannot fairly evaluate Sam if you're doing the same thing week after week. If on 3rd and 9 you're calling screen plays to Chris Hogan or whomever for 3 yards, okay? It's just, or you're dumping the ball off, underneath for 5 yards on 3rd down. It's just not sustainable. You cannot fairly evaluate this kid, and Adam Gase is never wrong. He will say that, okay? Adam Gase, what would you change? I wouldn't change anything.
No,
Dude, lost
Larry,
by 20.
listen, everything, dude, we spend the last five weeks and all of last year documenting all the mistakes he makes, how he scapegoats his players, all the problems is wrong. We understand all of this, dude. We see it. We've talked about it. We discussed it in nauseum. The fact of the matter is, for whatever reason, the Jets are not firing him. It's making it miserable for everybody because now we don't know what we have, and week by week it's just getting worse. So, but thanks for calling, man. We definitely appreciate it. Good.
All right, thank you, guys. Talk to you next week.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
And the one thing is just like we get it. Like but now it's just coming down to Tyrone. At this point, it's like we know all the problems that are going on right now. What is it going to take to get this guy out of the building? That's all we need to know. Because other than that, nothing is going to change. Like the week by week,
we know what
it's
going to take. We know what it's going to take. It's going to take Joe Douglas stepping up. Like that is the only thing that can happen right now. We know what Gase is. He's not changing. We know what Christopher Johnson is. He's not changing. Joe Douglas was our one bit of hope that we were going to bring some semblance of culture here. If he is truly that guy, he is the one person that can actually change this outcome because he is signed for 6 years. Adam Gase could not win a power struggle with Joe Douglas if he steps up and makes it that. Right now, he's not making it that.
And, like he said, and I really like what he said about getting a fair assessment of how can you really assess Sam with Adam Gase as head coach? How can you do that? I mean, how can you honestly say that, you can judge what Sam can be with Adam Gase as being his head coach? I mean, it's just crazy to me, man. Like, it's just nuts to me. I mean, I think that doing something like that it's this quarterback's fault. I mean, I see if he had an adequate coach or some great players around him. I mean, his best receiver is Jameson Crowder. His second best is Hogan. Perriman, who hasn't played. Mims, who hasn't been there. And then you have an offensive line that's been the worst in the league in the last 3 years. I mean, it's nuts.
No, I completely agree that it's essentially impossible to evaluate Sam while he's playing in an Adam Gase system, and even further that Joe Douglas essentially sacrificed Sam by not spending the rest of that $30 million, not drafting 2 wide receivers. There's a number of different things. But I will say one thing. For a while, I was just like, you know what? I don't want anything to do with Trevor Lawrence, right? But I think it also has to come down to what potential trade offer you can get. If for whatever reason there's not a team that's willing to give you that Herschel Walker type of package, you probably, if you are picking first overall, which is very likely, you probably hold on to it and you take Trevor Lawrence, or at least you listen to the new head coach, which is hopefully going to be in place, and Joe Douglas. And if they want to go in that direction, you go in that direction. But I think what it's going to come down to is if that offer becomes available, then it becomes, all right, well, is Sam Darnold still good enough to be a top 10, top 15 quarterback that you can win with several foundational pieces that we would get from making this trade plus the Jamal Adams trade? I think that's what they have to weigh here.
But let me ask you another question.
Or prime time, what you do, what everybody kept telling me for the last 3 years, is you build around a rookie quarterback on his rookie contract. Guess what Trevor Lawrence is going to be on? His rookie contract. There you go. But again, that's your rebuild.
But hold on. No, hold on. You're telling me that the pieces that you'd be able to put around Trevor Lawrence would be the same that you'd be able to put around Sam Darnold? You wouldn't have the same pieces.
We're assuming a lot of things here. We're assuming that Jets can get a ransom for the number 1 pick and all this stuff. For me personally,
well, that's what I'm
they
saying.
get the number one pick. But no, that's fine. But for me personally, I'm not giving Sam Darnold a new contract. I think for him, it's a change of new scenery. I'm thinking Trevor Lawrence, and I'm building around him the right way. That's what I'm doing.
But you don't even have.
I don't care about draft picks.
You don't even have to give Sam a new contract, though. It's just a matter of picking up the fifth-year option, and then you have 2 years to evaluate him. Where just like Larry from Harlem said,
I'm going to
you would
take
have
Trevor
6
Lawrence.
years. You would have 6 first-round picks over 2 years. 6 first-round picks over 2 years.
We have plenty.
I'm telling you right now. So hold on. 2 wide receivers, 2 offensive linemen, an edge rusher, and a cornerback. Let's just say that's the haul that we get over the next 2 years.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Sam Darnold can't win with that. I mean, if you can get that package, that's where you make the trade.
And listen, I agree. You know what? I mean, I'm gonna be really honest with you, man. Because Tyson just said something that made me think about something. You know, you both have valid points. But the most important thing is, regardless of if we get the first pick in the draft or not, we need to build around a quarterback, and that's been our problem. We lack so much in talent, man. Like, you know, we knew this offseason everything couldn't be fixed, right? So now we're going back to a whole new rebuild. We need a whole new offensive line. We need whole new receivers. We need new running backs. We need new tight ends. I mean, this is just crazy,
and
man.
Think about
this is our 50-year fucking bill, man.
And think about what you said. We need all new guys at every single position. So what would be the real harm in paying Sam Darnold? Who else are we paying? All the guys that we potentially had to pay, we got rid of already. I mean, Robbie Anderson, Jamal Adams, shipped out Le'Veon Bell, all the money that we were going to be paying over the next couple of years to the talented players that we supposedly had, or even the guys like Chris Herndon and Marcus May that we were hoping stepped up, we're not paying these guys. So who the fuck are we paying? Why not pay Sam? If you see enough when he comes back over the next 10 games to say, you know what, this kid still has the ability to be a top 10, top 15 quarterback with the right head coach and the right pieces around him.
No, I mean, that's the whole point, man. Get the right pieces around him, and we could be great. That's my whole problem. But you have to build, man, and this is the problem. We have to build. I don't care about a rebuild, bro. I'm tired of a rebuild, right? But if you have a rebuild to where you guys aren't building, you can't win like that, man.
What we're saying here is obvious. We're kind of making this is any organization with some kind of common sense is obviously with all these draft resources that Joe Douglas is creating, all the cap space he's collecting. Obviously, they're going to build around the quarterback next year. I mean, this is we're trying to reinvent the wheel here. It's obvious what the blueprint is: collect all these draft picks, collect all the salary cap space, and build around the quarterback. That's what they're going to do. Now it's just a matter of who's the coach and who's the quarterback. So either you're going to double down on Sam Darnold and say, you know what, we think we have a glimmer of hope with him, or we say, you know what, a change of scenery is better. Trevor Lawrence is a much better player and a much cheaper player, and we go with him. That's really all the decision is here. The rebuilding plan is obvious.
But yes, but at the same time, you can think that Trevor Lawrence can be, a slightly better quarterback than Sam Darnold, or even, significantly better. But if you think that you could add significantly better weapons and foundational pieces by dealing that pick and keeping Sam, who you still might think is a franchise quarterback, that's a legitimate conversation that you have to have.
It's a legitimate conversation, and for me personally, I will argue guys all day long. Unless Sam lights up the rest of this year, he's out of here. And I would trade him in a heartbeat and be like, you're gone, and I'm going to take my general manager and say, listen, you take you and your highly touted staff and you build around Trevor Lawrence. We don't need 35,000 draft picks to do it. Use your resources wisely. Sign quality free agents. This isn't a one-year rebuild. It's going to take 3 fucking years. So we're not going to talk playoffs next year. We're going to step by step do this shit right, like the Buffalo Bills did, like the Arizona Cardinals did, and all the other teams did. It's not going to be a one-year fix. We're not going to get 75 draft picks next year. Rebuild a team. It's not happening.
So you're acknowledging. So you're also acknowledging then that you're probably throwing Trevor Lawrence into the exact same shitstorm that Sam Darnold's in right now.
No, I'm not. How are you doing that? You're going to have all these. You have the Jamal Adams picks. You have all these picks, and you have all this cap space. You sign quality players. Plus, you hope guys like Denzel Mims do something this year. P. Ryan do something this year. You already have Becton. You hope some of these pieces are also part of the puzzle.
That's your plan, Hope?
That's what you're doing.
Man, we just,
So this year we entered, but in theory we entered this season with no left tackle and no center. So in theory we have these 2 pieces going into next year. So then you keep adding pieces to that. So then if everybody likes Denzel Mims and you bring back Crowder and you add 2 more receivers, there's that. Add a running back. There's your offense. That's enough pieces to keep Trevor Lawrence with an innovative head coach that can scheme around the quarterback like the Buffalo Bills do with Josh Allen. This is not this big crazy shit here. To be a serviceable quarterback, Zach Taylor's doing it with Joe Burrow, and their offensive line is fucking horrible.
So why couldn't a new coach do it with Sam Darnold when Jeremy Bates did it with Sam Darnold his rookie year?
Because if I'm at this point after 3 years, I'm saying, you know what? I don't think he's the guy, and I think that Trevor Lawrence is the guy, and I didn't draft Sam Darnold. You know what? I'm going to bring in my guy with my coach, and I'm going to rebuild my way, and that's just the way it's going to be. Tough shit.
And that part I would understand. If the new coach and Joe Douglas sit down and say, you know what, we just don't see it in Sam, and Trevor's going to be a top 5 quarterback, under no circumstances should they trade that pick. I can almost get that, but Joe Douglas took this job in part because of Sam Darnold. At least that's what he said. Again, a lot of things he said aren't looking true right now, but that was one of the reasons he took the job. I don't think he would have taken the job if he didn't believe in Sam Darnold. All right, he had 4 years with Sam on his rookie contract, so you would think he'd be able to build something there, yet slowly, surely, piece by piece, he's been subtracting players. So maybe this is part of his plan. I don't know. But I think a lot of it would have to rest on the new coach that he brings in, what the new system is going to look like, and also what you could potentially get in a trade. If you are able to get a Herschel Walker package and you still think Sam Darnold has the goods, you might have a better team with Sam Darnold. You might have a better quarterback with Trevor Lawrence, but you might have a much better team with Sam Darnold by trading the pick.
I just think
we're going to go back.
Just building, man.
All right, we're going to go back.
We have back
to calls real quick. No, we all have the same goal. We all want to build. We want to have a good quarterback. We want to build around the quarterback. It's just a matter of what happens the rest of this year. Does Sam get back on the field, and how does he play? Because the writing's on the wall. Like, he's got to do something. And unfortunately, the situation that he's in is terrible. So it's just, do you double down on him or do you move on from him? That's going to be for Joe Douglas to decide. So we're going to go to my screen froze. Zach in Fresh Meadows. Zach, what's up, man?
What's going on, guys?
What's going
on,
hey,
man?
All good. I just think that this team right now is obviously they're abysmal as we can see, but from what I can see, I just gotta believe that this team is. I understand the tank for Trevor talk. I get it, but you have to be realistic, and I think that ultimately what I think what will happen with this team is I think Joe Douglas is going to trade Sam Darnold, and I think two teams that will be very interested are the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Jerry Jones in Dallas is very, hungry in a win mode situation right now in Dallas. I really do think that Dallas could make a very good offer to the Jets, and I wouldn't be surprised. It could happen sooner rather than later that Joe Douglas will agree to a deal with either of these teams for that matter. And I think we've seen the last of Sam Darnold as a New York Jet, to be honest. Whether they trade Sam now or whether they draft Trevor Lawrence next year, which can happen, I think that Sam Darnold, I just think the best thing the Jets can do for Sam Darnold is trade him. Get the value for him, get him out of here, give him a fresh start. It's the least that this team can do. With all the trouble they're causing him, I just think that it's come to a point where, Joe Douglas has to just come out and say, enough is enough, and I should have done this earlier. And I just think it's very unacceptable from an organization standpoint that they're allowing this to happen, and no one, not even one person from this organization is coming out. And I just think that, Adam Gase is obviously, incompetent as is, but I think that he has power, and I do think he's making a lot of the calls. But to a certain extent, I just think that the owners, I think the Johnsons, they just don't care about the putting a good product on the field. I mean, from what I can see, they just really care about bringing in the money in MetLife Stadium. Like, they're not really getting talent. They're not bringing talent to the team. They're relying on a bunch of draft picks. And, while that may be the case and it could work out for them, it hasn't worked out for them. Their draft picks have been terrible. Other than Mekhi Becton, everybody has been crappy, shitty, hurt, banged up. I mean, their draft picks they have a history of not working out for them. And I, as being a long diehard Jet fan, it's really hard to think, when is this team going to be a 500 team? Like, when are they going to come back to being normal? Like, no one knows. Like, this is bad. Like, they can fire Gase at any moment. But, again, I don't think it's going to make anything better. I think you fire Gase after the season, and I do think that they ultimately will trade Sam Darnold. So that's what I had to say.
I think the one thing that I think the one thing that actually would improve right away is just the effort and the morale in that locker room by firing Adam Gase. I think it's clear, like when you listen to guys talk, you listen to Sam talk, you look at the body language on some guys, they're just not into it this year. They see through the coaching staff that they're not motivated to play for these guys, and they realize that, this coaching staff is not elevating anybody in terms of making them put up stats, getting them a contract. Like, we're not winning games. We're not doing anything good on the football field. So it's very hard to get motivated to play for somebody like that. And I think the players' body language and their tone when they speak, it says a lot.
100% Prime Time. I totally get that. I do think that, again, like you said, even if they were to fire Adam Gase right now, I just don't think that there's a coach that can just turn this team around. I just don't see it. As much as we want to think that, I just don't see that. I don't think there's going to be a coach like an Eric Bieniemy that can just come in here and turn it around. And as much as I love Eric Bieniemy in KC, I don't know if he's going to come to the Jets. I think that, I think a guy like Joe Douglas is going to bring one of his guys in from Baltimore or from Philly. I just don't see Eric Bieniemy coming to the Jets. As much as I love him, I just don't see it.
Well, like we always say, money talks, so it's going to be on Douglas and ownership to, finally kind of step up here and be willing to spend that extra money on their guy. So once they identify that guy, whoever it is, whether it's Bieniemy, whether it's Arthur Smith or whoever, once they say, you know what, this is the guy that we need to develop Sam or to develop Trevor Lawrence or whoever the hell the quarterback's going to be, make sure that once you get him in your building, you don't let him leave. Give him whatever he wants as far as a contract, whatever control he needs on the roster, and you work from there.
You're breaking up, Tyrone. Yeah, you're breaking up, man. Zach, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Not a problem. Keep being you guys. You guys are great. Take care.
Appreciate that,
man. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to go to, our neck of the woods, or my neck of the woods down here, Joe Manalapan. Joe, what's up, man?
How you guys doing today?
Never a dull moment with the Jets, man.
Yeah, so I'm at the point now where I believe Sam could have been a good quarterback. I believe he will be a good quarterback, just not here. I definitely don't think they're going to fire Gase throughout the season because the Jets actually have never done that. I'm pretty sure they've never done that. So he'll definitely stay the rest of the year, and then they'll fire him. I would like the Jets to at least get one win, go 1-15, and get the number 1 overall pick. That's all I want at this point. I don't want 0-16, and if they go 1-15, they'll definitely get number 1. I'm not worried about that. And I'm taking Trevor, and I'm basically at this point I'm trading everybody on the team worth value, including Crowder, Darnold after the season, probably trade Brian Poole, probably trade Avery Williamson, everybody. Seriously. Get as many picks as you possibly can. I would assume they can get a couple of seconds and a couple of thirds for Sam. Same thing for Jameson. So, and maybe even Marcus May they might trade too. But
yep.
I'm just at that point. I believe that they'll have a lot of cap space though, so they can bring in a lot of free agents around Trevor Lawrence and just get as many picks as you can and draft around them.
And that's a plan. I think a lot of the guys you named could be on the trade block. Williamson, Crowder, Poole, May, prime time. Don't you think a lot of these guys got to be on the block at this point? They're going to have a fire sale.
Yeah, you already started the fire sale once you released Le'Veon Bell, and then you traded Steve McClendon after the game. So yeah, anybody that's not signed to a future contract, or especially anybody that's not really on the younger side, or that you don't see as having a future here, yeah, I think everybody should pretty much be on the block at this point. We even touched on the rumors about Quinn and Williams, which I think would be fascinating because again, that's probably your one anchor right now that you could solidly say, all right, this is the guy that we probably want to keep and build around on the D line. I know he really hasn't lived up to the expectations of the 3rd overall pick, but you're starting to slowly see some signs there. So that's probably the one guy you wouldn't want to give up on yet. But if the right offer becomes available, a high 2nd round pick, something like that, maybe you pull the trigger on that too. It's really hard at this point to figure out which direction they want to go in.
And real quick, who would you guys want to bring in as head coach? Would you guys like if they brought in Matt Campbell or the Ravens defensive coordinator Martindale? What would you guys think of those two guys?
My personal preference is somebody offensive minded or somebody established. And we've had this debate numerous times in the last few shows. If you could get in somebody that has a solid resume, proven background, like a Sean Payton if he becomes available, like a Doug Peterson or somebody like that. that would be probably choice number one. Next choice, I think, would be a Bieniemy or an Arthur Smith, somebody that, is an offensive mind that, can get a lot out of the young quarterback, whether it's Darnold, whether it's Trevor Lawrence. I think that's the direction they're probably going to go in.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Peyton would definitely be like the miracle hire, but I feel like Joe Douglas would probably like the Ravens defensive coordinator. I wouldn't think he would be bad just because he's from Harbaugh, so I feel like, he'd be able to bring in a good staff and a good offensive coordinator. But I totally agree with you guys. Eric Bieniemy, Arthur Smith, another crazy one. I doubt this would happen. What do you think of the chances they get Jim Harbaugh?
Ooh.
I think everything's on the table, man. Right, prime time. I mean, no stone unturned. Like you contact every prominent coach or every winning coach out there and see what their level of interest is.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the thing that I think would be very fascinating with Harbaugh is if you sit down with him in a meeting and he says, you know what, if the dollar amounts are right, we're talking like 8 years, $10 million a year, and somehow Chris Johnson signs off on it. But then he says, oh wait, by the way, I also want full autonomy on personnel decisions. Well, are you already willing to get rid of Joe Douglas to make that happen? And I think, what we've seen to this point, you would have to get a proven guy like Harbaugh to oversee your entire football operation. If you could do that, as much as I still believe in Douglas to potentially build this thing and, draft and evaluate personnel, if you could get somebody that's a little bit more proven like Harbaugh to completely oversee your entire operation, I think you'd have to do that.
Yep.
No, I completely agree. I don't see the Jets giving out big time money though, only because correct me if I'm wrong, they're still paying Bowles and McCagnon too, right?
Yeah, but Joe, at this point, dude, at this point, you got to recognize that how dire of a situation this is, and you can't be cheap. This is your only chance to get this right. Your team is at rock bottom. You can't get cheap now. You can't. They've got to. This is like a Parcells level kind of move you got to make. You got to spend money now. They're
right.
Stuck.
100%. If only
Thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks, man.
Good night, man. All right, we're going to go to Frank in Florida. Frank, what's up, man?
Hey, guys. What's going on?
What's up, Frank?
Man, I'll tell you, bro, I am so fucking upset with this goddamn team when it comes down to basically everything. But, my call is going to consist of talking about Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas has been an absolute joke. There hasn't been one positive that this guy has done ever since we brought him in. In a year and a half, I know a lot of Jet fans are saying, yeah, but he got Becton. I mean, honestly, how could he have screwed that up? We could have went Tristan Wirth. That would have panned out. Obviously, he looks like an all-pro offensive lineman. We could have went CeeDee Lamb. We could have went Judy. I mean, and dude, the reason why we had no talent is because he either traded them all away or just let them walk, bro. Because look, he traded Leonard Williams for basically Zuniga. Zuniga hasn't even played the field. Then you trade Jamal Adams, which the morale of the team just went to the complete shitter when you trade Jamal. And, yeah, you got 2 first-round picks for it, but you don't even know exactly how that's going to pan out as well. And great teams, they don't trade guys like Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams is a building block. And the reason why Jamal was so upset with this team was because he was entertaining trade offers last year during the trade deadline with Dallas and all that. And I'll tell you what, I don't think this team is going to get it right because what they're going to do during the offseason is they're probably going to keep Gase because I think that Douglas is a puppet. And Douglas already came out before the season and said that he sees Gase as, the future for this team, this and that. And when they get the first overall pick, the owners are such whores for big names. That's where he brought Gase in the first place because when Peyton called him, Chris blew a load. He was like, holy shit, I got Peyton Manning on the phone and Peyton endorsed freaking Adam Gase. Now, when we get that first overall pick, I can assure you we are going to draft Trevor Lawrence and Gase is going to be our coach because this team gets nothing right. They get absolutely nothing right.
You don't see any scenario that Trevor Lawrence would try to avoid coming to the Jets, whether it's staying in college or just flat out saying, I'm not going to play for you guys if Adam Gase is still your head coach?
You know what, Prime? I thought about that a lot, but he'll be risking so much going back to college because what if somebody comes out and they look – I mean, they just light the league on fire next year, or he gets hurt and then he drops. We've seen that happen before, and it doesn't pan out. You never know, man. So yeah, I think he's going to come on board.
I mean, dude, that would be a tough selling point. That would be a tough selling point to try to bring this all back again and try to, or even potentially allow Adam Gase to ruin another quarterback. And then what's the timeline for that?
There's no way that happens.
I mean, you give him 1 year with Trevor Lawrence, 2 years. I mean, that's just a recipe for
no
disaster.
way.
Yeah, because look, this owner is such a narcissist, this guy Chris Johnson, that he's coming out and saying that Gase is brilliant. He's going to look like the biggest asshole firing him in the offseason. And I really don't think Douglas runs the show.
He has to cut his losses, dude. I mean,
I agree 100%, bro. But like, dude, we've seen the way this team runs, man. It's a joke, bro. It really is.
Yeah, but they can't.
They don't care about winning. All they care about is the money. That's all they care about.
Yeah, but the problem you're going to have is that money that they want to make, they won't make with Adam Gase next year. They can't sell tickets. They can't market the team. Even there would be so many problems of keeping him. This fan base would just riot, man. I mean, they won't make any money. Like, you have to get the stench out of the building, and that's Adam Gase.
Dude, I see where you're coming from, bro, but there's such a waiting list. People are dying for season tickets over there, man.
Not anymore, dude. Those days are long.
20 years ago.
You can get
20 years ago, they were.
Yeah, you can get those tomorrow if you wanted them.
Yeah, man, dude, this is bad, bro. Like, this is really, really bad. And Douglas is accountable, man. I don't know how he gets praised. Like, dude, that's like somebody right now praising Patricia because he came from the Belichick tree. Just because this guy came from Ozzie Newsome, I can't praise the guy. Dude, from what I've seen from a year and a half, this is honestly some terrible work that a GM can possibly do. Every good player we've had, he either let him walk or trade him away. Dude, I mean, look at last season. During the season, bro, he re-signed Ryan Griffin because he got 2 games. I know it was only for $10 million, but, dude, we've seen him play this year. He looks like shit.
Yep.
And then Jamal, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you got
and,
that.
dude, you know how the New York
trade
media...
Where, again, he should have did that trade before the draft, right? How he mishandled the contract negotiation, and then Robbie Anderson.
Exactly.
Also, there's so many things you could point to.
Dude, just imagine if we would have traded him to Dallas for that first-round pick. We would have got C.B. Lamb.
Yep.
And that would have panned out, obviously. But still, the reason why it got to that point was because he was entertaining trade offers from Dallas. And he admitted to it to the New York media, bro. Like, you got to keep your mouth shut because the New York media is best at flipping shit around.
That started to heat up, and then it started to die down a little bit. And it seemed like as the offseason began, Jamal Adams was open to signing a contract extension here. Shit didn't start to really get bad until well after the draft, where it just seemed like they were stringing him along. Yeah, eventually we'll get to you. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you after free agency. We'll talk to you after the draft. And finally, at some point, Jamal Adams realized, all right, they're not serious about talking, and he forced his way out, rightfully so. And he exposed everything that's going on, and everything that he said pretty much on the way out the door. It's looking like it's fact.
And dude, we don't know exactly how free agency went. Maybe he actually tried signing Conklin. Maybe he tried reaching out to certain people, and they're like, I don't want to play for you guys. Like a Byron Jones, dude. Because Fant should be a backup in this league, even though he's playing pretty good. I mean, we're paying him $10 million. He's going to jump all over that. I don't think there's a team in the league that's going to pay Fant that.
No, I don't think so.
Yep.
And then you also hear, conflicting stories about whether or not Joe Douglas had the ability to, spend money on guys like Conklin, whether or not he had some limitations on, on his spending this offseason, whether or not he wanted to spend and, carry that money over to next year. I know he made one quote about any dollar you spend this year is a dollar you can't spend next year, which I think kind of gave the hint that, he was about rebuilding this year, at least after the Jamal Adams trade happened. So there's a lot to dissect here.
Yeah, dude, but then he's accountable because he just came out and said that the owners never put any restriction on him.
Yeah,
so he makes himself look like a big asshole, dude, obviously.
And I think, not that it's right, but I think that's part of why, he's refusing to talk to the media right now and pushing it back until after the trade deadline is because he already has so many different things that he has to answer for that he said in the offseason. I don't think he wants to give, the media any more clicks or clickbait quotes to, bring up for when he does talk after the trade deadline if something else happens that he didn't foresee.
Yeah, dude, and going back to the Jamal trade, dude, Jamal was the type of guy. That's the reason why Le'Veon Bell signed with us was because of Jamal. The money talked. Obviously, we're probably the only stupid team that's going to throw that money to him. But, dude, the reason why he really came was because Jamal was reaching out to him. Jamal really tried to bring players in. And, dude, you trade a guy like that.
Too.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And, dude, you think Baltimore is going to trade a prime Ed Reed? No, dude. Good teams don't trade their best players, and we are notorious for that. Even Leonard Williams, I would have probably never traded him for that third-round pick. Because our D-line looks like complete shit. At least a guy, put some respect on our defense, obviously.
The problem with Leonard Williams, though, and I know Tyson agrees, is the money that he was asking for. He wasn't worth, $15-16 million a year. He might be a good starting caliber defensive lineman, but not at that value.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I hear you, but guy's done nothing for this team, and honestly, bro, I hate the fact that he gets praised over Becton. I mean, he could have went any other route, and it would have panned out. This draft was so deep, bro. I cannot believe he only drafted one wide receiver. Who even knows that Mims is good? Because Mims was supposed to be a first-round pick, and he dropped all the way to the end of the second round. Dude, he could have went in the third or fourth. Nobody knows.
Yeah, it's crazy. Frank, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
No problem. Hey, Tyson, you're an MMA guy. Who do you got, Khabib or Gaethje? Real quick.
Oh, good question. I'm gonna say Khabib.
There you go.
I hear you, man. Same here, bro.
I think they're gonna try to stand and bang, but then once Khabib takes him down, it's over.
Yeah, I think he's gonna gas him out. How about Cannonier or Whitaker?
I think Cannonier. Whitaker's rough,
yeah.
man. He's coming back slowly, but I think he's kind of banged up a little bit still.
Love the show, guys, man. Continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate
Have a good night.
You as well, brother.
All right, we're going to go to Dell in Florida. A lot of Florida guys. Dell, what's up, man?
Florida.
Hey, this guy fucking lost me. This last caller when he said that Gase is coming back next year. What the fuck? Listen, bro. There's no fucking way Gase is coming back next year. Because, number one, they lost a whole bunch of fan base. So if you want to sell the fan base and get them back, and if you had the first pick, you go Trevor Lawrence and you go with a new coach. And this thing about Joe Douglas, that he sucks and stuff like that, listen, this year everybody's dealing with the pandemic. There was no preseason game, no practice. There's players getting hurt left and right. So this draft class, you can't judge it in 5 or 6 games. So you have to wait 2 or 3 years
but
to judge
hold on,
it.
though. It's more than just the draft class, though. And every team around the league was facing, the same restrictions this offseason as far as the pandemic goes. Limited training camp, no preseason. A lot of other teams have plenty of injuries. We saw the Niners, back-to-back weeks destroy, the Jets and the Giants, not necessarily great teams, but they made their adjustments. Their offense was functioning with half their guys out. You see it all around the league. Guys get hurt. New guys step up. And because you have the right coach in place, the right system, it's plug and play, and guys don't miss a beat. The Jets, we get a few guys hurt, and we've had double-digit losses 5 or 6 games this year already.
Yeah, okay. Why? Because we have Adam Gase. Adam Gase, the same thing happened over here in Miami. Same crap happened where guys are getting hurt left and right. So they got to do something, with the training and guys, like the superstars want to leave them. So the same shit that happened over here with the Dolphins is happening with the Jets. And, this year, listen, this year is a wash. So, next year, this guy's going to have over $100 million to sign players plus the draft, and he's going to build a team up. He's going to build he's going to build a team up, man. Listen, I'm frustrated. Everybody's frustrated.
No, it's not. I'm very hopeful that Joe Douglas is going to build the team the way that we hoped he would, the way that he said he would. Talking about culture and everything else that we've gone into about what we talked about. At this point, I just want to see some results before I completely hop on board, because it's been a year and a half, and I know he didn't walk into the best circumstances, but it's been a year and a half, and the little talent that we did have, he's pushed out the door, and a lot of the moves that he has made have not worked out.
Wait. He didn't push those guys out the door. Guys, remember, Adam Gase.
He didn't push Jamal Adams and Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, but that could have been Adam Gase, too, because Adam Gase has probably more power. He goes to Joe Douglas and says, listen, this is who I want and stuff like that. Because remember, with Bell, he didn't want Bell.
So why is it impossible for Joe Douglas to put his foot down and say, you know what, this is a talented player. We don't have talent on this team. We don't have playmakers. You need to make this work. Why can't Joe Douglas do that?
I'm pretty sure that he probably said that stuff like that. But, hey, Adam Gase has the same power, probably more than Joe Douglas. So guess what? Joe Douglas said, okay, you know what? I'm going to get you the guys that you want because, listen, Gore, that's a Gase guy. Balaj, that's a Gase guy. So guess what? Joe Douglas, he got Gase the guys that he wanted. Listen,
but wait,
he got those.
If we're saying right now that
if
we're saying that Gase has more power than Joe Douglas, then how can we even have like any confidence in Joe Douglas to build this team? If we're allowing Adam Gase to walk all over him and make all these decisions, I mean we know nothing about Joe Douglas right now.
Yeah, but guys, you know that both guys, the coach and the GM, which is stupid, they both answer to the Johnsons.
Yes, absolutely. But Joe Douglas is signed for 6 years. He needs to use that to his advantage.
So
he can't just go. He can't just allow himself to go down with Adam Gase.
No, but listen. That's why he signed for 6 years. He got Gase the players that he wanted, and then you know what? This is basically most of it is all on Gase. You know what I'm saying? With his coaching, the personnel, stuff like that, is most on him. So guess what? He's going to be gone. And listen, I think Adam Gase will be here to the end of the season because Joe Douglas wants to make sure that the Jets get the first pick. And guess what? You keep this fucking turd there coaching, they're going to keep on losing.
But another thing also though, if Adam Gase really has more power than Joe Douglas, then this idea of tanking this year, to get Trevor Lawrence, wouldn't that have to get the approval of Adam Gase, meaning he might be back next year? Obviously, none of us think he should be. But whether or not he's actually going to get fired, I think that's in question right now.
Well, listen. Adam Gase is going to get fired. I'm just saying that Joe Douglas got the guys basically that Gase wanted. Gase coached these guys up and stuff like that. And this is basically all on Gase. You know what I'm saying? Because, listen, unlike Adams, he wanted out of here. He got out of here. And like with Adams, he was on his rookie contract. He still had 2 years left. You never pay a guy who has 2 years left on his rookie contract a new contract. Now, if he was like in his last year of his rookie contract,
I'm saying four guys from his draft class all got paid this offseason.
Wait, say it again. What? 4
guys from his draft class all got paid this offseason to contract extensions. Mahomes, Christian McCaffrey. Who are the others? Deshaun Watson. There was one more. I forget.
Yeah, but still, I mean, listen. Look,
I'm just saying for a team that lacks foundational pieces to so eager to ship a guy out of here. I don't know, man.
I'm saying, listen, Jamal Adams is a great player and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, but look, he didn't get no contract extension at Seattle. He's gonna have to wait till next year.
Yeah, and he was fine. He was fine doing that just to get out of New York.
Well, listen, who wants to play? I'm under fucking Gase. Nobody wants to play under Gase. Like I said, the same shit happened over here.
I mean, I don't understand the whole premise of this. I mean, you can blame Gase for a lot of things, but Joe Douglas is just as fault for as many things as Gase is.
Well, listen. Joe Douglas could have done a little more. I'm not arguing. In the draft, he could have probably got another wide receiver and stuff like that. But also, this free agency class wasn't that good either.
Which is all the more reason he should have hung on to Robbie Anderson instead of hoping for Rashad Perriman to be the answer.
But I'm saying, that could have been a conversation between him and Gase, because like I say, Gase has a lot of power. At the beginning,
this is crazy. Basically, we're actually calling Joe Douglas a puppet then.
Well, listen, I think at the beginning he was going to put whatever, but I think like the way that he's doing this, starting next year, it's going to be a different team. It's going to be a different team, competitive team. I mean, this year, unfortunately, like I said, we have Adam Gase. He's the worst fucking coach in the league. You know?
Listen, there's no argument for me. There's no argument for me that Adam Gase is the worst coach in the league and he's the biggest problem with the Jets right now. I just disagree that a lot of the areas that we're talking about being a problem for the Jets right now, that Joe Douglas couldn't have done a little bit more this offseason to put this team in better position to at least be competitive this year, especially on the offensive side of the ball, so that we could evaluate Sam Darnold properly.
Yeah, but Sam Darnold, you know what? Look, with Sam Darnold, this is his third year that he's been injured again. That injury?
He had mono last year. He wasn't injured.
With that shoulder? Dude, that's your mono, but then he got hurt. His foot, his wrist last year. His shoulder, that was on him because Lawrence Cager was open. And guess what? He held onto the ball, and he got slammed to the damn ground. That was on him. That was not on the offensive line. I'm saying that was on Darnold. And Darnold, he keeps on regressing. Yeah, I mean, he shows flashes here and there, but this is his third year. So you would figure that he would already know something. I'm not saying that he has a great supporting cast, but, I mean, he...
No, listen, I agree that I think we'd all like to see a lot more out of Sam Darnold, but I think we also would agree that he has not been set up to succeed at all, whether it's from a coaching standpoint, from a talent standpoint. I mean, there's been nothing around him that can really give you a proper evaluation. You go from Jeremy Bates and Todd Bowles to Adam Gase and Dowell Loggins, and you strip away his best wide receiver. Your offensive line is still near the bottom in most categories. So, I mean, what are you really giving him to work with as far as a proper evaluation?
Well, listen, I agree with you that they didn't give him enough weapons, and they could have probably done a little more defensive line. But as a third-year quarterback, you still got to show that you know certain things, that you are improving on certain things, on reading the defense and stuff like that. Like I said, him getting hurt, that's on him. I mean, like I said, Lawrence Cager was open, and he just held onto the ball, and that's on him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not on the offensive line. That's not on coaching. That's on him. I mean, he has shown, stuff you're like, wait a minute. Why isn't he, reading this and stuff like that? So, I mean, it's a tough season.
I think there's a number of reasons. I mean, not to make excuses for everything wrong that Sam does. I mean, we'll call him out, for certain things he does wrong. But again, developing trust with your wide receivers, developing that timing with wide receivers. When these are all guys undrafted or guys that you just picked up, that were free agents that weren't really getting signed, like Chris Hogan. I mean, expecting him to have all this timing down, especially in this system when the defense knows what's coming, most throws are behind the line of scrimmage. He doesn't have time to go through his progressions half the time. He's working against a lot. And it's not to say he doesn't make mistakes. He's certainly made his fair share of rookie mistakes this year that you don't want to see from a third-year quarterback. I'm just saying he is up against it on every single play. And so I think when you see the flashes, to me, that's more of an encouraging sign that, this kid still has it in there once you actually get pieces around him and a coach that can elevate him and scheme guys open and make his life easy. Then you really might see Sam Darnold, take off. But again, at this point, it's all potential.
Now, you know what? I mean, the Jets are in a win-win situation coming next year. If they stay with Darnold, they could put now pieces around him, with a new coaching staff. And if not, you go with Ty Law. I mean, either way, this team will be competitive next year. I mean, that's what I see.
We hope so, man. If you're going to have all these draft picks and all this cap space, you hope they're better than this year. This is as bad as it gets.
And
so,
don't forget.
Good.
I mean, real quick, don't forget that the salary cap is going to go down next year, and the Jets are going to be one of the top teams having that money to sign top free agents next year.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're going to have plenty of opportunities to improve this roster significantly, man. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for calling it, Del. We appreciate it.
All right, take care, man. Good night, guys.
Good talking to you, man.
All right, primetime, we pretty much, it's tough because you don't want to do too much Darnold, Trevor Lawrence stuff because we still have 10 more weeks of the season. Then we have the whole offseason to start dealing with all this shit. You know what I mean? It's this debate's going to go on and on. I mean, the only thing that I don't understand, and I understand that some members of the media right now, they're trying to get those clicks out. Trading Sam Darnold at the trade deadline is so stupid.
Yep, for a number of reasons.
That would be the dumbest thing they could possibly do. Yeah,
without any assurances of having that number 1 overall pick to trade away Sam Darnold at the deadline for pennies on the dollar, most likely. I mean, you're probably talking maximum, a second-round pick, probably not anything more than that. So, yeah, I think that would be completely foolish until you know for a fact that you're picking number 1 overall, that Trevor Lawrence is coming out, that your new head coach wants to work with Trevor Lawrence instead of Sam Darnold. Stop pushing guys out the door because they didn't fit in Adam Gase's system. Let's let the new coach, whenever he takes over, hopefully sooner rather than later, let's let him start making these calls. Let's let Joe Douglas and that coach make these calls together instead of Adam Gase.
Yeah, I mean, this is just crazy now at this point. We lost Tyrone because Tyrone's out there in Colorado. What are some of your parting shots here, Mr. Primetime?
Honestly, just kind of like what I said at the beginning of the show, just overwhelmed by the support, that we've been getting for, doing these shows. It's like the one bright spot, as far as the team goes, because, watching these games has been absolutely painful, but, being able to interact with a lot of different fans and, just being able to enjoy the games that way and drinking and coming up with games, it's been fun.
Yeah, I'm the same thing, man. It's tough to talk about this team many days. It's the same old shit. Gase sucks, the owners suck, everything sucks. And having a chance to talk with so many people and have fun conversations and the games you come up with it's been a blast, man. It's kind of making this a lot more tolerable, to be honest with you. Because this is other than doing this stuff, man.
I was going to say, I could not imagine doing these shows every Tuesday and Friday and actually having to talk for 2 to 3 hours about, like, the actual game and talking, about Flacco taking a 28-yard sack and getting the third down until the fourth quarter and everything else that went wrong, the snap that hit him in the knees and featuring Frank Gore. Like, we can go on and on about the game, but doing that for 2 hours, like, dude, I can't do that. So, again, like you said, being able to take calls and listening to new fans, that's awesome.
Yeah, no doubts. We want to thank everybody again. What time are we doing Friday night? Prime time, 8 o'clock or 8:30?
Whatever's good for you. I'm always good by 8, but if you need 8:30, I could do that too.
Let's do 8:30 to be safe. Let's make sure I'm home in time. So we'll do 8:30
cool. Friday
night, and then if in case there's any breaking news next 2 days, we'll do that. And thank everybody for joining us. We appreciate it, and we will talk to you guys on Friday.
Talk to you later.
Jets fan thing, right?